What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. As you can see right behind me, we got the Civic Type-R FL5 in Blue Spool Pearl. In today's episode, we're going to be installing these Suma Performance Convex side view mirrors. So I was actually approached by Suma Performance. They dropped me a message on Instagram asking me if I'd like to do a review on these side view mirrors, and absolutely, I want to go ahead and test out these mirrors. And there's other companies that make these mirrors. I believe Spoon, Mugen, and there's probably a few others that I can't think of right now, but I think these are actually a fraction of the cost. So I think these are less than $200. Now, if you're gonna go with these Suma Performance mirrors, you got two color options. Number one, you get the blue hue, and you got the gray hue. So of course, I went ahead and chose the blue. We need to go ahead and coordinate with the Boost Blue Pearl paint, of course. And essentially what these mirrors do, it's basically a convex mirror. So essentially, instead of, looking left and right and kind of twisting your neck and moving forward just to see what's in your side view mirror, I don't think you gotta do that, because this gives you a whole wide range of what's beside you when you're driving the road. I believe the installation is gonna be relatively straightforward. I'm not sure how this is gonna go. I've seen a few videos of how to remove the mirror. That's my biggest concern. So without further ado, let's go ahead and install the Suma Performance Convex side view mirrors on the Honda Civic Type-R FL5. Let's go and get started. All right, so here's what we're working with right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on the passenger side mirror. These FL5 mirrors, they actually can push them forward, so that'll give me my best working space instead of maybe potentially scratching up this paint right here. Okay, so here is the first Suma mirror right here. Let's see if we can do a side-by-side comparison. Now, I'm not sure if you can see the difference between the OEM FL5 regular mirror and the Suma Performance Convex mirror, but just trying to give you guys an illustration right here. Now, before I forget, I want to go ahead and bring this to attention right here. So I don't know if you can see where my finger or my plastic finger's pointing to, but the Suma emblem right here is just slightly at an angle of printed. I brought that to the attention and they said it's within tolerance. So, I mean, that's only one drawback that I can see with these mirrors. Now, let me go ahead and show you the left side mirror. So this right here is the passenger side mirror. All right, so right here on the bottom, this is the driver's side or left mirror. And then right here on the top, this is the passenger side mirror. So I don't know if you can see a difference with the printing of the Suma right there on the bottom. So this one is really dead straight, and this one right here is just a slight angle on the print section. So like I said before, I did bring this to Suma Performance's attention. They said it's within specs, so it is what it is. It's not a big deal, but it's just my OCD talking right here. Anyways, I just wanted to go ahead and illustrate to you guys a small little QC observation that I found on these mirrors when I was doing inspection. So besides the slight angle misprint right there, the Suma Performance on the passenger side mirror, I think the quality looks top notch, and I'm very glad that I chose the blue hue as opposed to the gray hue. So looks to be relatively straightforward. Got one wiring harness, and then we gotta go ahead and pull the mirrors off the FL5 right here. This is going to be the tedious part. So I'm going to go and start on the passenger side just in case I break something. Knock on wood, I do not do that. So I believe what I've seen in videos is I believe you want to push this mirror as much as you can. I hate doing that, but you're going to grab this mirror and you're going to carefully pull this. And I think there's maybe 3 or 4 pivot points that needs to disconnect from. I guess we'll find out. So fingers crossed. Let me go ahead and set up the tripod and let's get that mirror removed. And then we'll go ahead and do the first mirror swap. All right, guys, so I got the outside corner pushed out from this outer edge right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and carefully take my fingers and start pulling this. And hopefully I don't break this mirror. So let's go ahead and remove the passenger side mirror. Just gonna be very careful right here. And I've just seen videos where you just pull it out. I don't know, this makes me nervous. I hear the clip. Yeah, it was very stressful. There's some pivot point I'm missing right now. I can feel on the bottom. Oh, look at that. Check it out, guys. I did not break it. All right, let's go again and get that wiring harness. All right, so fortunately, we did not break the mirror right there. So you got one wiring harness that plugs in to the back of the mirror. And then you got the cabled wiring harness right here, which is the red and black wire. So let's carefully remove that harness right there. Okay, wiring harness number 1's removed. All right, this one looks to be tricky. I don't know if you can see right there, but there's a little latch. So try and go ahead and take your nail or a flathead screwdriver, pull up on that. Okay, this is a little tricky right here. I'm gonna go ahead and get a flathead screwdriver. Carefully put this right here so it doesn't scratch up my paint. Okay guys, I have a very small flathead screwdriver. Let's go ahead and pry that wire harness right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this, clip it right in here. So you wanna get that away from the, all right, there we go. All right, let me show you a close up of this. So right here is this tab. You wanna take your flathead screwdriver, put it in between here and lift up. Because right here on this wiring harness, there's a small little tab. Otherwise you try and pull this thing, it's not gonna release. Just a little FYI. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a side-by-side comparison of the back side of the mirrors. So this right here is the Suma Performance aftermarket mirror. This right here is the OEM. Okay, so what we need to do is go ahead and take this plastic bracket on the back side of the OEM mirror and transfer it onto the back of the Suma Performance. Let's go ahead and set up on the workbench and make the swap. Okay, now I got this plastic plate pried freely from the OEM mirror using my plastic pry tool. Let's go ahead and peel this piece of tape off, transfer this plate onto the back of the Suma Performance mirror. And then just gently push in position until all 4 plastic clips are locked in. Alrighty, all 4 plastic clips are clipped in position. Now we can go ahead and take our wiring harness, plug that in, and don't forget to plug in this wiring harness right here on the mirror itself. Let's go install the Suma Performance mirror on the passenger side FL5 mirror housing. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to go ahead and plug the wiring harnesses in first, and then this is the main pivot point, which is the center, and then you got these 2 ball pivot points. So once these 3 pivot points are installed and the wiring harnesses are clicked in, we should be good to go. So let's go ahead and install the Suma Performance mirror. All right, so it was a lot more tedious than I thought. Had to be extra careful. I didn't want to break this glass right here, so make sure you get the center pin in first. I believe there's a pin right here and a pin right there. I think it's clicked in, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn the car on and take this mirror and go up and down, left and right, see if it functions correctly. All right, I believe the passenger side view mirror by Suma Performance is successfully reinstalled. Went ahead, turned on the car and activated the mirror. Right, left, up and down features function correctly. So just need to go ahead and clean this mirror up and it should be good to go. So let's go ahead and do the driver's side. Okay, and the tools and materials needed for this procedure. Obviously you need some Suma Performance Convex mirrors, small flathead screwdriver, plastic pry tool, glass cleaner, and a rag to clean the glass. And that's all the tools and materials needed to install Suma Performance Convex mirrors on a Honda Civic Type-R FL5. Okay, let's go ahead and do a side-by-side comparison of the Suma mirror versus the OEM mirror. So let me zoom out here. I don't know if this will be effective or not. I know we got 2 different angles right here on the height, but there's me, hello worlds. There's the OEM mirror right there. So hopefully this gives you a perspective of how wide this new side view mirror is by Suma Performance. Oh no, I can see a lot of the truck right there in the background. And then right there I see mostly, I guess, the fender and a little bit of the side view mirror. So hopefully that'll give you a comparison of what we're looking at right there. You know, so far I'm impressed. So we need to go ahead and do a road review and see if these mirrors are actually effective when I'm driving the road. Let's go ahead and take a drive. Okay, let me give you a quick demonstration here. I'm in the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A, but just look in the side view mirror, you can see how wide that is. Obviously, you can see the Acura SUV behind me. You can see the little booth right beside that, but I mean, this is just a very wide view compared to the OEM mirror. So I just want to give you an illustration of what's going on with these Suma Performance side view mirrors here. All right, guys, let's go ahead and talk about some side view mirrors on your car, or the FL5 for that matter. So for those of you not aware, these Suma Performance mirrors are convex mirrors. So what that means is you have a much wider view as opposed to a flat mirror, and it does get some taking used to. So when I first pulled out of my driveway and I looked in the side view of the car, and I'm like, whoa, that's a really wide view. So the only thing I can see that would be a downfall to these convex mirrors is if you're backing up in tight spaces and you need to see the side of your car a lot closer. I think the flat OEM mirrors, it's probably your best bet. But I mean, it's not like totally unfunctional if you're backing your car up and you need to see, you know, how close you are to the side of the vehicle. But it's just a small little observation I made, you know, when I was leaving my driveway and backing up into a parking space, you know, next to another car, you know, as opposed to not using your rear view camera. But other than that, you know, driving on the road and just seeing the traffic, you know, a lot more cars beside you if you're on like a 3 or 4 lane road. I mean, that's just really an incredible feature right there. So I don't know how the technology has done that, you know, with the manufacturing process, but sure enough, Suma Performance did it, and there's a few other manufacturers. So speaking of other manufacturers, I did some quick research as to who's out there to make other FL5 side view mirrors, these convex mirrors. And I believe Suma Performance, I think those are priced around $200, but they're basically stick-on units. So what that means is you got your factory mirror, and you keep your factory mirror, and basically you just stick the spoon mirror right on top of this. So you right here on this top corner, you got a blind spot monitor. So I think the spoon, from my understanding, covers that blind spot monitor right there, so there's no wire connections whatsoever. So that's the spoon situation. And I believe that there's a Mugen mirror as well. So the Mugen mirror is, you know, it's a full replacement just like the Suma Performance. And I think, if I remember right, those are around $300 to $350. It's quite pricey. I know Mugen makes good stuff, but you know, if you're looking to save some coin and have a great product, you know, I think these Suma Performance mirrors are going to suit you quite well. And by the way, full transparency here, Suma Performance actually sent me a free set of mirrors in exchange for a review. So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm trying to do an unbiased, honest review of these Suma Performance mirrors. Well, these aren't the mirrors, but the mirrors are on the car right now. So I want to give you guys the most honest review that I could. So, you know, step number one is judging distance between, you know, a parked car or maybe a garage or whatever with the Suma Performance mirrors. It's kind of tricky and getting used to. I mean, it can be done, but I think the OEM mirrors is more precise for backing up in spaces. But however, everyday driving, seeing the traffic beside you, these Suma Performance mirrors, I mean, these are just top notch right here. So I love the angled view that you have with the convex mirrors as opposed to the flat mirrors. So in order to answer your question, I'm not going to be installing my OEM mirrors back in place. That's how much I like the Suma Performance mirrors. So now, for those of you that follow this channel, a few weeks ago I did a review on the Integra ADS suspension module versus the FL5 ADS module, and it turns out I did not like it. So on this channel, I'm trying to give you guys unbiased, totally honest reviews right here. So I'm not just going to go ahead and install parts on the car and say, oh yeah, it's a great product, you should do it, blah blah blah. So I just want to have full transparency, giving you all the pros and cons of installing an item on the FL5 Type-R. So with that said, I'm going to be keeping the Suma Performance mirrors, well, not these OEM mirrors, but the OEM mirrors I'm just going to put in storage. But I'm just going to go ahead and stash these side view mirrors. And the Suma Performance mirrors, they're going to stay in the car. So I like the wide angle view that it's got. I don't know how they did the manufacturing, but it's quite amazing technology. And on top of that, the hue of the mirror, it's a light blue, so it's quite awesome. It coordinates quite well with the car. I mean, if you're looking at the mirror from outside the car, you can't really tell it's blue unless you're kind of inside the car a little bit. And they also do have a gray hue feature as well, in case you don't want the blue. Okay, so with these Suma convex mirrors for the FL5, I believe pricing's around $180, which I think is a phenomenal buy given the competition. Competition's around $300, $350 plus. I mean, these are side view mirrors. I mean, it's not too complex of an item, so I wouldn't waste your money on $300, $350 for the competition. But you know, Suma Performance, they give you a great product, you know, at a reasonable price. So they essentially reached out to me on Instagram and asked me if I want to do a review, and I said sure, I'll go ahead and do a review. So all right, Suma Performance, if you're watching this, thank you very much for sending the side view mirrors. I'm enjoying them a lot, and they're going to stay in the car. And you know, mostly great things to say about these mirrors. All right guys, so if you're in traffic a lot, especially like Los Angeles or any other big city with a lot of lanes of traffic, you know, I think these Suma Performance mirrors are going to be perfect for your application, because you definitely can see a lot wider path on the sides of the vehicle when you're looking in the mirror right here. And you're not having to do this or this or this or this, you know, move your body forward and backwards, which is a big benefit of these convex mirrors. Okay, let's go ahead and talk about the installation of these Suma convex mirrors. Now, the removal process is going to be on a little tricky side. So essentially, you want to take the mirror and tilt it as far inwards, and then you got to reach your hand in there and you got to like pull the thing out. And it can be stressful because you're thinking you're breaking the mirror, but you're actually not. So just go ahead and take your time removing the mirror. I think there's one central pivot point, and I think there's two other small ones, and there's two other clips. So there's like a total of like 5 connection points on these side view mirrors. And then you got to go ahead and transfer the black plastic clip on the back of the side view mirror, and then transfer it onto the new Suma Performance mirrors. And then you just basically go ahead and carefully press it back into place onto your OEM mirror housing. And then just go ahead and make sure that the mirror has full functionality, you know, with the electric mirrors before you go ahead and start cleaning things up. And then just go ahead and take your Windex and your rag, clean the mirrors up, and what do you know? You got some convex side view mirrors for the FL5 Type-R, which you can enjoy driving in traffic or backing in the spaces. But you know, I'm just pretty happy with this mirror so far, I can't lie. You know, like I said before, I'm keeping these mirrors, and the OEM mirrors are going in storage, so I'm not going to go ahead and reinstall the OEM mirrors. Anyways, enough talk about side view mirrors. If you guys got any specific questions on installation or review of these Suma Performance mirrors, please feel free to comment below, and I'll do my best to answer all questions. And if you found this video helpful or entertaining, please give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and have a fantastic day.